Greetings everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know, my name is Patrick Gregory Daniels. I run a channel that's focused around lifestyle and music and creativity and sometimes a little bit of philosophy. Today I was just thinking about a couple of different ideas that I thought would be really interesting to speak about with you today. One is a music related idea that's it's just something I'm kind of excited about right now. My wife, she's working on a show, and I'm super thankful she's going to be including me in the show. We're going to be doing some poetry. She wrote her first book a little while ago, and she's getting ready to publish and put out the second book. The first book was whites only. The second book is blacks only, and it's some really cool material. I definitely will leave a link below to her website, and it's something that you could and in my opinion should check out. Obviously I'm a bit biased when it comes to that because it's obviously my wife, but one of the really cool things that's going on is she opened up 2 separate slots for me to host a set of my own music. And this is one really cool opportunity where I'm going to put the SP404 Mark II through some of its paces. I'm really excited about doing that because I was late to acquiring the SP404. Sorry, I forgot to start my timer. That's why you see me looking over there. I'm also starting this challenge that I'm not really broadcasting the challenge at all, if you know what I mean. It's kind of a behind the scenes thing, but what I'm doing is I'm actually working on my camera talking skills. I'm working on seeing where my public speaking could potentially be improved, and the way that I'm doing so is by endeavoring to begin my own 30-day talk to a camera challenge. Well, it's funny how that sounds because when you do it, you're not actually supposed to think about talking to a camera, but inevitably what happens is it increases and it betters your camera talking skills to improve your skills on making better YouTube videos. One thing that kind of bothers me about my videos is I write these scripts or these stories just from downloaded thoughts from things I'm experiencing in my life, right? Be it at work, during my regular day job, because I do work a regular day job at a camera shop currently. So sometimes I'll write thoughts about my job. I might write thoughts about, how I want to create more music, and that's a lesson, a journey, a set of area of thoughts like in its own right, because every day I get up and do some work. We go on a run, we use the Nike app, and we're into running, we're into fitness, and honestly, I tried to be into fitness before because I wanted to sculpt my body and, look stronger and grow bigger, but the habit of working out didn't stick for me when those were my reasons behind it. What really made me stick to fitness was for emotional health and mental health, and to really kind of cope with stress, because there's a lot of different things that happen to you at work when you're working with different characters, and maybe you're not getting along with people, or maybe you'd love to, just be treated a little better or treated just a certain type of way. And things in life, they obviously don't go your way, but you can't just resort to doing just anything to solve your problems. And also I think that it's really maybe instructional in a way, but also just very relieving to run. Just running, it clears the mind of all the things that might be low vibrational thoughts or low frequency thoughts, and that's one thing that I really enjoy out of running. But on another note, I'm excited about the 30-day challenge and talking and making a video every day for 30 days. I do look forward to placing the videos, all the videos of the different things that I'm talking about into one playlist so that I can, and we can kind of look at the progression over time. Maybe it's something that you want to do as well. And again, you know, obviously it's not a gear thing. You can use any camera, you can use your phone. It's just about learning how to maintain that facility of self when you're speaking to a camera so that it can be, feel, and communicate the word natural across all means. Embracing yourself, embracing who you are, thinking about those thoughts, thinking about different things that you want to talk about, and just gluing those things together on camera so that you can feel more comfortable about it and not feeling like you got to over prepare for a video when you do have a goal as such. You know, I've created a lot of videos over time and hope to get better, but not really had a sense of consistency, because for me, my planning and my preparedness through whether it's script writing, I almost said skip writing, right? Script writing, or whether it's, and when I say script writing, I mean like literally writing word for word what the video is about. And for me, I consider myself to be a very communicative individual that enjoys speaking to people. And I've studied and watched some videos that maybe perhaps it could be informative to tag their videos and so on and so forth. I'm not sure at this particular moment whether I think that it's imperative that I kind of list those resources or the videos that I'm kind of speaking about or talking about. But I have watched some videos that talk about whether or not, but because you might be great talking to people face to face doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be a great public speaker or a great speaker on camera. And while I think that that's a cool point, I don't actually agree with it. I think that there are people that I speak to and talk to that literally have the gift of gab. They can be friends and speak and just talk to everyone. Well, maybe you can't be friends with everyone because some people just don't want to accept your friendship, and that's cool. That's a thing that we have to, and I mean, if I'm being honest, that's a thing that I had to learn how to embrace, was just that I can't have everybody be pleased by my attention, by my presence, because some people just, sometimes you think you have a gift to give and you think that everybody would be open to receiving it, but sometimes that's just not the reality. You know, you can't fix and you can't save everyone. And so these are just some of the different ideas and the different thoughts that I'm working through right now in my life, you know, because it's even interesting, you know, I went through an issue at work where I was trying to, you know, I enjoy street photography, and I don't know if that's something you guys know about. If you go back into my channel, maybe I'll post a video or put some kind of card up in a corner where people normally point at on the video of some street photography that I shoot. But I'm a street photographer, and you know, different photography. Let's just leave it at photographer. We'll do that. But a lot of my photography has been candid, and I remember I shot a photograph of a guy that I work with, and he was not feeling it. I mean, like, got upset with me, walked up to me, had the posture like he wanted to do something to me and everything like that, which was, you know, mildly hilarious to me, if I'm being quite frankly and honest. But I apologize because, you know, the guy wasn't feeling it. It makes sense as an individual and a human to respect what people want to experience in the world. Even if you can't, like, completely cater to it, it's okay to, and it makes sense for you to understand and embrace, you know, when people speak to you and tell you that they're not feeling something. And so I kind of told him, you know, I apologize about it. You know, he told me later on, you know, it's no big deal. It was like something completely different or whatever. And what was really interesting is maybe a couple months passed by and I was taking a photograph of another guy. And while I was shooting a photograph of the other guy, he walked completely into the frame of my camera while I was actually holding the camera up. It's clear as day that I'm shooting a photo. And the guy walks into the frame while I'm taking somebody else's picture. And, you know, I ended up posting the photographs later on that week. Maybe actually the next day, I think, to be honest. And man, dude was hot with me. He did not, like, speak to me, ignored me, whatever. And, you know, I thought it was crazy because I was already taking a photograph of somebody else. It wasn't like I took a photograph of him like we just talked about, a month ago or whatever. And so he got really mad at me about it, and I tried to fix the situation by apologizing, and it just didn't want to be fixed. So that's kind of a portion of that story. If you want to hear anything else about that story, that's cool. I don't mind going into it and talking a little bit more about it. Doesn't bother me, but we don't actually have to go there. But that's just kind of like one of the dynamics of work relationships, and that's a thing that we all have to learn how to move through and kind of traverse. And whether you're at work or whether you're anywhere else, that's just a thing that is a part of life. And so it's just one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys, is like the dynamics of work relationships. But I'm super excited about this show. I just learned how to, I was following this guy named, I wasn't following, but like this cat named Jay Filt. He's got a video on here on YouTube about the SP404. So I'm bouncing back to the show, which I'm super excited about. But in the show, I hadn't yet connected my SP404 to my computer. And when you connect your SP404 to the computer, there's a way for you to just drag and drop your songs that you've made on, whatever equipment it is, whether it's keyboards or beats or whether it's just on the SP404, right? And so you can kind of use this entire machine for a DJ mode to do a DJ session. And so that's one thing I'm super excited about using the SP404 Mark II made by Roland, is to use it for its DJ mode feature, so that I can potentially use that in my wife's show. And it's got such a small footprint. It's a small machine. I'm super excited about using that machine to do to play maybe a couple of my albums and everything like that, which I'm not sure which ones, and I'm super excited about that. But I think coupled with the music, and coupled with the dynamics of the relationships in work, I've come to a place where I'm figuring out what it is that I want to create in a job, and what I mean by that is, I've taken and made a list of everything that I would love to do in the course of one day. And while and when I made that list, what I've decided is that I need to create the kind of day that I want to experience every single day in my work day. And that's something that we all need to potentially do if we want to try to experience, not being managed, and potentially not being supervised, and potentially not being, and the reason why I say not being supervised and not being managed is because sometimes we're being managed by individuals, and sometimes we're being supervised by individuals that frankly don't possess the, I don't want to say don't possess, because a lot of things in life come with maturity, and they come with going through certain life experiences. And I think if you hold a high quality of governing yourself with high values, and it depends on what those values are, that to be governed and managed and supervised by individuals that don't possess, right, using that word again, right, if they have not grown to the maturity of trying to like carry themselves at a high level that very similar to the way that you do, then you could be potentially governed and managed and supervised into becoming an individual that you were never supposed to become. Like if you're working at a job and their idea of business practices is to simply make more money, and you're the type of individual that balances making more money and the business is being efficient, but you would never not recognize and acknowledge a human being. And what I mean by that is human beings are super important, and we're special, and we should be recognized as such. I think a lot of times we have mental situations, and people don't feel respected, and people are having mental breakdowns because they don't feel appreciated. It's not so much at times simply just because they're not getting paid a lot of money. Sometimes it's because we're being made to move around particular workforce areas like we're robots. We're being micromanaged.